Hey there YouTube, this is Sign18 coming with you with another deck profile. And this time, it's premium. So today we're doing a Gold Paladin Liberator deck. Not just any Liberator, but one of my favorites. Fang Liberator Garmore XL. Now this was a very old, very old deck back in, say mid-tier of the G era. So that a lot of you new players wouldn't know anything about this, but if you guys are interested in premium, especially with the new overdress stuff coming up, and a lot of those cards are going to be able to be played in premium, this might be somewhere for you. Those old and new Gold Paladin players might want to pick up. So we're going to start with the boss unit, which is Garmore himself. Skill: when you stride. Now, for new players, these are known as stride units. These red text units. So the aspects of the attendant of striding is that you would discard a grade 3 or the sum of a grade 3 higher from your hand and go into your extra deck or your stride deck, in other terms, and places on your Vanguard circle. So when you go to a stride, the stride unit gains the original power, in this case for Garmore, which is 11, added to its 15, and the name of the unit in its underneath the stride, known as the heart card. So an example, Golden Dragon Spear Cross Dragon would also be considered Fang Liberator Garmore XL, and power in total become 26,000. But we'll go in a little further detail than that. But Garmore's skill is when you stride, you can counterblast 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, superior call up to 2 cards with Liberator in their card name to your rearguard, and put the rest of the cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is another way for you to build your board without using your hand. Then his Generation Break 1 skill, again for you all you new premium players, Generation Break 1 means that for every card you have face up in your extra deck or on your Vanguard circle that's a grade 4 stride unit, that's 1 generation towards your break. So in this case, you only need 1, meaning 1 card face up in your G zone or 1 card face up on Vanguard circle. But in terms of Garmore, Generation Break 1, return 2 cards with Liberator in their card name to the bottom of your deck and draw 1 card. So, not the matter of fact that his first skill pays for his second skill. Some fact of the matter is that you build a board, return that board, and get value back from it without doing anything, without playing anything from your hand. So, our next grade 3 we're playing, and you all may know this card, 4 copies of Bluish Flame Liberator Percival. V-Era style. So, just because a boss unit does not have an Excel marker does not mean we cannot make Excel markers. And this is a very good thing that he's also a Liberator unit, because he goes along with the archetype. So you all know what his skill is. All units while he's on the Vanguard circle constant, all units on extra Vanguard circle gain plus 5k. Vanguard when he's placed, counterblast 1, discard a card, make it a new Excel 2, and search your deck for his partner, Oath Liberator Aglavale, and call it to rearguard. So, not only does he make extra spots on the board, he helps you fill those spots. So Garmore gets 2. If he's one of the ones that you caught up through Garmore's skill, you immediately go into Aglavale, and then you can continue chaining off from there. Now, we're going to go straight into the grade 2s. Now, we just mentioned them, which is Oath Liberator Aglavale, who's also a Liberator unit. So Aglavale's skill is on Vanguard, 1's place, counterblast 1, look at 3 cards from top of your deck, and call 1 to rearguard circle. Put the others on the bottom of your deck in any order. So, grade 2, build a board. Now, his rearguard skill is when he attacks, you can shove 1 card from one of your rearguards into your soul. He gains 10k, and at the end of his battle, he pops back to your hand. So not only do you get power, soul, and hand recurrence. Now, a very old but very good Liberator unit from back in the day. This is Tacturn Liberator Brennius. So, he is our countercharger for the deck. Brennius' skill says, whenever one of your units is played from your deck to rearguard, he gets plus 2k and the additional ability. When this unit hits a Vanguard, countercharge 1. So, you may be wondering, I can call 5 units from one and countercharging 1? No. For every unit called, you get plus 2k and you get to countercharge 1. So For example, when he hits, if you caught 5 units, you get to counter charge 5 cards. So he is a mass return on all your counterblast skills to gain board. Now, one of our last grade 2 Liberator cards, we play 3 copies of Unbending Liberator Kerdrick. So, 10k vanilla. Back in the day, 10k vanillas were very important as a first ride to your grade 2. That way your opponent's grade 9 units couldn't hit you and things like that. But nowadays, since most of force units grade 2s are 10k, this is a good ride target if you're going up against force. That way your Vanguard always hits. And not to mention, if you're playing any of the crate elemental strides in your deck, he gains some power from that too. Next, we're playing Cloudwing Eagle. Now, there may be other choices, but I think he's very good because you do a lot of superior calling in this deck. And for every time you superior call or call a unit, doesn't matter which or, he gets plus 5k on Vanguard or Rearguard. So he is also another good ride target. But keep that in mind, his power can be very, very big by the time you're ready to go into your battle turn. Now we're going to go into the grade 1s. We're going to be playing 4 copies of Dawning Night Gurgaduk. So, he's your grade 3 searcher. We all know what he does. Just going to go over his ability, his plus 5 ability. If you call 2 or more cards this turn, he gets plus 5. So, we already know how this works. You need your grade 3s. Next, another staple in the deck. We're playing 4 copies of Listener of Truth Dindrain. Now, so since you're doing so many superior callings and things like that, this is another good card. She should be able to be activated quite easily. You usually get about 3 to 4 superior call activations, so very good. But when she's in your hand, she's kind of a dead card. So she can be defensive fodder for Perfect Guard or discard fodder for Percival or other things. Guard fodder. But you shouldn't have that much trouble activating her. Now for our last grade 1, we're going to be playing 3 copies of a very old card, Cycle Force Liberator Zeron. So Zeron has a very simple skill. When he is placed from the deck onto Rearguard, if you have a Gold Paladin Vanguard, put him into your soul, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and call up to 1 card with Liberator in its card name. And then put the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order. So, not only does he give you soul, he replaces himself on board. But the downside is that he is restricted to a Liberator build, which it is, but you don't have to have a Liberator Vanguard to activate it. So, let's say, for example, you're on Cloudwing Eagle, or, Cloudwing Eagle, really. You don't really have to worry about having your Vanguard be a Liberator. Next, we go into the grade 0s. Starter, Night of Early Dawn Coel. You can use anyone. You could even use his old version, which is Generation Break 1, put himself in the soul, check the top 3 cards of your deck, and call 1. Very good, useful skill back in the day. Back in the day, you used to run like 3 or 4 of them in your deck. But I think the draw 1 is beneficial for the deck just to get things going. Next, because this is a stride deck, we are playing 4 copies of Gold Gardish Lion. So basically, this is your stride fodder for the deck in trigger form. So when you're about to pay the cost for a stride, his grade goes up by 3, meaning that you can pay the cost. Like I said before, to pay the cost for a stride, you must discard a grade 3 or cards with sums of value of 3 in their grades. He becomes 3, so he may be able to ditch out for it. Next, of course, we're playing 4 Perfect Guards in the draw trigger format. You gotta love it. You need your pieces. You gotta have them draw. 10k power is very good across the board. Next, we're playing for the Era Heals. Again, massive shield power, massive power on the trigger effect. But we'll get into and once you get to the G zone, you understand why heal triggers are important in a striding deck. Doesn't matter which heals, but in some situations it does. But in this case, we're using the V era ones. Towards the end, I'll give you some other options you can use for certain other cards. And finally, for you new players, you don't know nothing about this. This is a stand trigger. Catch Goal Liberator. So in previous variations of the game, we had things known as stand triggers. Back in the day, our trigger values were 5. But a stand trigger allowed a unit that was already done attacking to stand back up for another attack. But Catch Goal has a very important skill in this deck. It's when he's placed from the deck, you can put him to the bottom of your deck, check the top 3 cards of your deck, and call a card that's not Catch Goal Liberator to your rearguard circle. Another good way to activate certain abilities like Din Drain and things like that, to keep the skills flowing. Okay, that's the entirety of the main deck. We're gonna go right into the G deck or extra deck. We played 2 copies of Golden Dragon Spearcross Dragon. So his first skills: act from the G zone. Unite. So unite is a keyword. So we had keywords back in the day. So basically what unite says, if you play 2 or more cards, unite is active for your turn. So unite. When your Vanguard is grade 3, you can counterblast 2, discard 1 card, and stride this unit from your G zone face up. From face down to face up on your Vanguard circle. So, like I said earlier, you need to discard a grade 3 or summon grade 3 to stride. You have alternative ways of striding also in premium. This is one of the ways. So let's say, for example, you don't have enough cards, but you only have 1 card, which may be a grade 0. If you have the counterblast, you can counterblast 2, discard the grade 0, immediately go into a stride. Sometimes that can define a game. Next, we play 4 copies of Bluish Flame, True Liberator, Holy Flame. So, just how Spearcross Dragon uses his skill. Oh, I didn't go into his second skill. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry about that. I got a little ahead of myself. So, Spearcross's second skill. Act as well. Soul Blast 1. Turn a card face up in your G zone. And look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and call 2 of them from your deck to rearguard. Put the others to the bottom of your deck and shuffle your deck. Sorry about that. So, another good way to build board and get effects going. Now, back to Holy Flame. So, Holy Flame is a very old Liberator Bluish Flame, mind you, just like Percival and Agmavale. Stride. So, his unique skill is Act. On Vanguard Circle, Counterblast 1. Flip up a copy of this card in your G zone. So, the same name. Then for every face-up copy of him in your G zone, look at 3. He gets the ability. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Call 1. That unit that was called gains plus 2k power. The other 2 cards go to your drop zone. So unfortunately, like other cards, they will go to your bottom of your deck in any order. He puts them to the drop zone, meaning limiting the amount of cards and compressing your deck. But you're wondering how you get more copies? Cards like Golden Spearcross, they flip things over, so you want to flip him over. But so by the time you go into him, you can have all 3 copies of him face up. That way you get, on 1 stride, you get 3 searches. Next, we go into one of the finishers of this deck. Golden Dragon, Glorious Reigning Dragon. So, get ready for a mouthful. So, at Auto Unite. When this unit attacks, Counterblast 1. Put 2 of your rearguards to the bottom of the deck. Check the top 7 cards of your deck. And then Superior call 1 unit for every face-up card in your G zone to rearguard circle. Then if 3 or more were called, counter charge and soul charge 1. So, but basically what you do with this card is that you attack with all of your rearguards at one time. Waste your opponent's hand. Then swing with the Vanguard, and then build a brand new board on top of that, and then push again for game. One of the best finishers that Gold Paladin has ever had. Now, the second finisher takes a bit of work. You all may know the name, or recognize the name. Sunrise Radiant Sword Gurgit. So this is one of Gurgit's strides. In other words, one of his future potentials. So, Generation Break 2, Unite. Act. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2. Gurgit gains 5k for each one of your rear guards. And then 5 of your rear guards gains 5k power. So meaning this is not once per turn, so as much of Soul and Counterblast you have, you can keep paying the skill. So in other words, let's say if you had 8 rear guards on board, Gurgit gained 40k while 5 of the 8 gained 5k. This is a very good way to build numbers, but unfortunately Gurgit does not make any units for you. So you already have to have an established board before going into his skill. Remember that. Next, this is the reason why I said that heal triggers are important in a G deck or a premium stride deck. We play what is known as Generation Guards, or G Guardians for short. This is Golden Beast, Slaney, Flare. So as you can see, these G units don't have any power, but they have an immense defensive ability. 15k on the side. But he also has an ability that which can improve the guarding aspect. So Slaney Flare says when you use him as a guardian, you can send 2 cards from your field to the bottom of your deck. Check the top 5 cards of your deck. Call 2 units from those 5 to the guardian circle. Now, if you pay attention to the perfect guards, the draw perfect, they don't say that you have to guard with them from your hand. So if you're able to get a perfect guard from those top 5 and put it in the generation zone, you can activate the perfect guard. This is a good way to get out of some really pinch situations. And you may be wondering, how do I get this out? By discarding when your Vanguard is attacked or when a unit is attacked, you can discard 1 heal trigger from your hand and then Generation Guard. So strides need 3 or higher grades. G Guardians need heal triggers to be discarded. So we also play 2 copies of Scarred Heaven Prayer Master Regia. So Regia has a similar Unite skill. When placed, if you have 2 or more units on your board, she gains 5k shield, becoming a 20k guard. Then finally we play our last G Guardian, True Liberator of Healing SL. So her unique skill is when she is placed on Guardian. These are what are known as G Guard flippers. So pay attention. Generation Break 1. Choose one of your other cards in your G zone and flip it face up. One of your other G Guardians and flip it face up. Then Counterblast 1. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck and call them to the Guardian circle. If the attack that she guarded is successfully guarded, the card that you called due to her skill, you can move it to a rear guard circle. Mind you, it's a move, not a place. So place abilities will not activate. So be mindful of that. And also the reason why I told you to be mindful of her ability is that once you have 4 or more cards, 4 or more G Guardians face up in your G zone, you are not allowed to use any more G Guardians for the rest of that game. Unless you can have a way to flip them back face down, which technically speaking this deck doesn't. So be careful of when you G guard. So I hope you like this deck. This is one of my favorite decks back in the G. I'm so glad that I'm able to revamp it and make it work now in the present day. So if you guys like what you saw, please leave a like, a comment down below. Let me know if you try this deck out. Let me know if you have ever played this deck back in early G. And as always, I will see you all later.